There's a lot happening inside financial markets. The US court blocks Trump tariffs. This is an incredible piece of news. It's going to affect your investments and your trades significantly. Stay tuned to find out how. Let's run the numbers. Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS and the CTKS method. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back CTKS family. My goal is to assist you to become more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love. We're going to go through some really vital news. Asian stocks have already risen after the trade court struck down Trump tariffs. We're going to look into exactly what this means. It has literally just happened, so if you're tuning in, you're very early. If we take a note of how the main markets reacted in the past trading session, they were down. With the news that's coming out right now, I don't believe the US markets will be down for long, and I'll explain why. When analyzing the tariff, something that will help you out is the IEEPA. That's the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977. To understand why the tariffs came about in the first place, it was the IEEPA that gave President Trump the authority to do the tariffs day one. But now the Federal Trade Court is ruling that is an improper usage of that act. President Trump claimed that he could use the IEEPA to claim as a national emergency all those trade deficits that were worrying the US. What came next was literally a crash in financial markets. The thing to understand here, the Federal Trade Court ruling, the Federal Trade Court has nationwide jurisdiction in the US, and any appeal which is likely to occur will be handled by the US Court of Appeals. Now, what does it mean if the IEEPA cannot be used under national emergency powers? It means the markets are likely to recover, and the authority to do tariffs will be passed to the Congress. One thing to remember, when the tariffs were initially introduced, that caused a massive sell down across global markets, and of course it spiked gold as well. Initially, but then it fell, then it raised. Now, what do we anticipate if the Federal Trade Court basically says the tariffs are a no-go? That says a complete change in market dynamics. We would expect the markets to absolutely rally. Don't forget that structure is still in control of markets. But the positive momentum that could be garnered from this is really quite extreme. Now, one thing to just be aware of, a lot of times people get into the market expecting upward volatility. It comes down and then goes up. But the unfortunate thing, they've gone all in and more, generally under massive amounts of leverage, and expecting it to just fly up. When it retraces, they don't expect it, they lose substantially. Therefore, just bear this in mind. Now, how are markets going to relate to this news? Of course, they're going to go up. Now, smart money may seek to sell into this rally, so let's just see how strong the buyers are. Now, this chart of total crypto market cap is on a daily basis. We would anticipate that the VIX starts to fall down, that gold comes down. So be aware that gold will lose its luster. We would also anticipate that the stock market and the crypto market rally like crazy. It's going to be all up and down, so just be aware that these things can happen. Just always remember, price is moving in a wave, but this is incredible information to just alert you to. We also had Nvidia reporting, and Nvidia did really well. Nvidia had troubles with the Chinese market due to export sales restrictions, and Jensen Huang is trying to get in there and do something about it. It's expected that $8 billion worth of losses will be due to restrictions. Key with Nvidia's earnings, it saw a 73% surge in data center revenue, but that was just below analyst expectations. Quarterly revenue projections were plus and minus 2%, but they were also lower than Wall Street expectations. However, gaming revenue increased 33% above forecast. And there are new market opportunities aligning and also strong demand from Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta. And combined AI spending expectation is expected to increase 41%. All in all, things are looking pretty good for Nvidia. Good timing. When looking at Bitcoin, one thing to just keep in mind, this announcement couldn't have come at a better time. Bitcoin was literally just in the process of breaking down into a negative CTKS gap. It's absolute brilliant timing because it's already put some positive momentum inside Bitcoin to go higher. One thing to just bear in mind, around that 110 mark is a lot of structural overhead resistance and then a pretty fair positive CTKS gap up until around the 114. These zones are very special. They're called Stanfield zones or SCs. SCs are the combination of SLs or Stanfield levels, also called CTKS levels. Those levels tell us where the algorithms are going to come in and buy and also sell. They are the most powerful levels that exist in TA, technical analysis. Let's just zoom out and talk a bit about the structure of Bitcoin at the current time. We know that the previous all-time highs were through this area and Bitcoin exceeded those areas. So Bitcoin has been leading the charge. The alts have been following, but not to the same degree. The money has been going into Bitcoin, largely because Bitcoin is seen as the safest crypto in the crypto space. But with news of the trade restrictions all falling away, those tariffs being literally held to be illegal, this could create so much risk on that we see Bitcoin start to take off. The thing to remember, the president is the president, Donald Trump is Donald Trump, and he's going to just say, take me to court. So when that happens, expect negative or risk-off sentiment, that is risk-off sentiment, to enter the market. So we may get a bit of a push, a retracement, but that would be nothing more than a structural enhancement. But you need to be aware of things like this. Just thinking that it will go up and up and up and just keep on going like this forever, it doesn't happen. It never has, it never will. Things take time, they need to digest, they need to do all sorts of things. Price is always moving in a wave. But this wave, she looks pretty good. Let's quickly confirm with gold. So, as the VIX spiked up on all of those tariffs being levied across the world, what happened to gold? Gold sniffed it out, went up, then retraced, then went up again. Now the thing to remember, with the VIX coming down and also geopolitical instability starting to just calm down for the first time in a long time, we may see that this very geopolitically sensitive asset class gold may retrace. The probabilities are that it will. Due to inflation, over time gold will continue to go up, but you just want to be aware of the up and down movement that is every single price chart. But knowing why it's moving up and down, that is your superpower. One thing to note, when we look at total crypto market cap, when we look at the total capitalization of the entire crypto market, the total, which means the alts plus Bitcoin, is below those highs. Now on this news, we could very well break out to all-time new highs. This is going to be a pretty volatile time. You're going to have a lot of up and down price action. Don't just subscribe to one thought only. It's going to go up forever. Yeah, that kind of doesn't work. It never works. What you want to do is to master your own emotional state. Do not let fear get in control of your trading and investing decisions. Well, how do you boot fear out of the driver's seat? You start to learn. You start small and scale. Do your coffee trades, but please don't be a coffee trader. You need to scale up. The idea is that you just build your muscles, strength upon strength upon strength. You start small and scale, but just don't stay small. You will need to scale. But the key is to do so with structural awareness on intercorrelation, interconnection, understanding the direction and movement and momentum of the market. Make no mistake, this is very, very good news, but we need to be aware. Price is always moving in a wave. You can have a big surge and a retracement, big surge, a retracement. But this is very much accustomed to all of the problems that we were dealing with tariffs. If the tariff has been literally thrown out of court, this is a game changer, there's no question, at least in the short term. A lot of members inside our community really love SUI, so from a SUI standpoint, you want to be aware of the overhead structural resistance around the $4 mark and also just a little bit north of the 410. And if you're finding this SUI analysis to be helpful and you would like your favorite alt to be done, just drop me what that alt is in the comments and I'll see what I can do for you. We talked yesterday about Solana coming into that overarching support, structural support around the 170. It has bounced from there now. And with the relief of tariffs on the way, if that holds up, whoa, we're in for some very, very interesting news. And well done again to Tails. Tails is a master of buying structural support and selling structural resistance. I'm very proud of you, my friend. For tomorrow's video, please let me know what of the cheat sheet charts would you like to see the structural levels on. And if you have any charts that you would like me to mark up with level 1 and level 2 standard certification, please let me know also. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.